All right. All right. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Stacy Cook, and I'm here with Sherry Placco tonight, and we are going to share some of our best tips and tricks and what we've learned along the way for helping support our kids who've got big emotions. Um, I am not a doctor, but I am a mom to a 7-year-old boy who has had his share of big emotions over the years. So it's something that uh, we've dealt with. And so we're going to share some of the personal experiences we've had tonight and things like that. Um, and just some of the oily routines we've used to help him best manage those feelings that seem to overwhelm. Um, and we're really going to focus on three areas that we're going to get into. But before we dive in too much, I want you to get out your phone or a notepad or something that you can write down three things on that you can begin doing today. That I guarantee you, if you do these three things, you will see changes in your kiddos' sleep, behaviors, and even digestion. And they're free. They're just things you can just do. And the first one is to remove all artificial food dyes from your kiddo's diet. It's really not that hard. It just takes some label reading, but there are studies upon studies upon studies that show food dyes having an impact on physical health, mental health, emotions, so many different things. So that's like an easy thing you can do just by reading labels at the grocery store and opting for things that are dyed with um, natural colors like beets and carrots and things like that instead of like red number 5 or blue number 5. We want to eliminate those things. And then the other thing is that think about eliminating or minimizing white sugar. And I know that can sound really hard because there's sugar in so many things. But again, it's just a matter of getting in the habit of reading your labels because you can find a lot of things that are sweetened with honey or maple syrup. Even coconut sugar is a better option than your typical white sugar. So, or corn syrup, like corn syrup, you definitely want to avoid. So, just a simple label reading thing you can do that can be really helpful. And then the third thing is to create consistency and routine around areas that are challenging in your daily routine, right? So if you know that getting ready for school is like this huge hurdle to overcome and it's triggering for your child and there's tears and headbutting and all that stuff, break it down into a simple routine that you can even like write down steps to and be consistent with it because in my experience, and again, I am no expert, but this is just my experience and things that have worked for us. When we started creating routine in some of the more challenging transition areas of our day, we saw a huge difference in my son's ability to move through those transitions. So those are just three really simple things you can do. And I found that consistency was really, really a key part of that. So we are going to cover some specific products and protocols that have been helpful in managing emotions in kids, specifically as it relates to sleep, anxiety, and digestion, or like stress, angsty feelings in kids. Because I found that when we addressed those things for my son, we saw a big reduction in those big emotional outbursts and those big feelings of overwhelm. So when we really focused on making sure he like dialed in his sleep, manage like stresses or anxiety triggers that he may have, and then really got his digestion on point, we saw big changes. So before we dive into those, we need to talk about product quality because tonight we're going to talk about a lot of products that have helped us. And everything that we talk about is going to be Young Living, and that's because of Young Living's commitment to quality. Now, a lot of times you can go into the store and you will find products that say they're all natural, but then you read the label because when you get in the habit of label reading, you'll find that those products that may claim to be all natural can actually have a lot of garbage in them. Um, and so it's something we call greenwashing when, and my favorite example of this is like the Mrs. Meyer's products, which like you look at them and you're like, oh, they look so healthy for my family. And I want to put that on the sink next to my kitchen faucet. It's going to be great. And then you actually read the ingredients and those actually have some really garbage ingredients in them, including synthetic fragrance that we would never really want to bring into our homes because they're linked to endocrine system disruption and they have carcinogens in them and all that stuff. So Label reading is always a great idea, and especially when you see, natural products, you just really want to verify that. So that's why Sherry and I, we have really swapped over our homes to be entirely use a lot of Young Living products, because we know that we can trust that company. We know they only use clean ingredients in their products. And in terms of their essential oils that we talk about, Young Living's quality is not matched. It just isn't. Young Living's been around for over 25 years. They are like the originals of essential oils in the US. Gary Young is the founder. He truly pioneered creating the farming and distillation practices to produce the most pure and highest quality essential oils and wellness products. Young Living's quality standards actually exceed current USDA organic standards. They're not messing around with their essential oils. And a big part of that is that Young Living has their own farms. They have their own partner farms that they have certified. They use sustainable practices. Yes, Sherry, did you just put the website in for Seed to Seal? Yeah, so the Seed to Seal website is great. You can see all the details there. So that's fantastic. And you guys, we're committed to doing this for you in 30 minutes. So if I'm talking fast, that is because we are going to try and cover a lot of things in 30 minutes for you. So I'm going to kick it over to Sherry, and she's going to share with us a little bit about how we can safely use oils.
Yes, and we just want to cover some of this important stuff for our friends that may not be familiar with Young Living. So I'm Sherry Placco, and I don't have littles anymore. I have adult children. But I do want to say one thing before we even dive more into this. All of these kid products that we're talking about, I use them. So they're not just for kids, they're for big kids as well. So something to keep in mind. But let's talk about usage and safety. Before we really get into the specifics, a lot of people are like, oh, you can't use oils on kids. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay, don't go Googling that stuff online, because what is the most important factor is quality, which is what Stacy just told us about. Quality matters. You don't want to buy a bottle of essential oil at TJ Maxx and put that on your child or diffuse it, because it's kind of like a Glade air freshener. You truly do get what you pay for. It is really important that when you are using essential oils and you're using high quality essential oils, that you know how to properly use them. And that's what your support people are here for. But just one thing to know is that dilute. When in doubt, dilute. So what does that mean? It means you put a drop of oil in your hand, you use a little bit of a carrier oil. I prefer fractionated coconut oil. A drop of each in your hand, a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you can apply that to the bottom of their feet or to their spine. I like the feet. It's always a great place to start with that. Thankfully, most of the oils that we're talking about are from our KidSense line, and they are already pre-diluted for you, so you don't even have to worry about that. The recommended age for these is for 2 and up, but you can use them with children younger. You just need to dilute a little bit more. So easy peasy. Something important to know, don't ever drop oils directly into your ears or your eyes. If you're using any blends that have citrus oils in them, citrus oils make you photosensitive. So if you're applying that to a place in the body that will be exposed to sunlight, you either want to do it 12 hours before you go out in the sun, or put it on the bottom of their feet, because the bottom of their feet probably aren't going to get a lot of sunlight on them. And when you're diffusing, start with just a few drops, 1 or 2. See how your child responds to it. You can increase it as you see fit. The larger or more open the room, the more you can use. In a smaller room, obviously, you want to use less. Everyone's a little different with diffusing. In our house, we're very heavy droppers. So I always tell everyone, start with 1 drop, because I use a whole lot. And if you have kids, this is the most amazing little diffuser. This is our Feather, the owl. It's a humidifier, it's a diffuser, it's got a night light and a white noise machine. So this is a really great one for the kids' rooms. So don't let the rules overwhelm you. If you are new to Young Living and at the end of this, you're like, I need some of these things, Stacy or I are here to help you learn what to do with them when you get it. Okay, so don't stress out. Just know that these are safe and encouraged for you to use on children, which is why we're here tonight. So again, we had said we are talking about anxiety, stress, sleep, and digestion, because that's where all those big feelings come, right? And it's really important to address those areas. So we are going to start out by talking about anxiety and stress, because our kids feed off of us. So if you are stressed, your child is picking up on that, and then they're carrying that around. And let's be honest, the last 2 years of life has not been normal for anybody. And our kiddos are carrying around so much more stress and anxiety than they did pre, that big C that's been going around, especially if they're school age children. It hasn't been fun. I am a teacher, so I can tell you firsthand what I'm seeing in my classroom. And when we see that in kids, it can be a little different. Sometimes they can have, and I'm sorry, let me advance my slide here. Sometimes it can be like irrational fears, or they seem like they're like a worrier. Maybe they're like a biter. That's a big sign of anxiety. You can also come out as irritability or anger. Sometimes you might even see it come out physically, like they have a lot of tummy aches. I have a lot of students this year that every day they come into school and they're like, oh, my stomach hurts. And I know it's just anxiety over everything that they're going through in their little lives right now. Sometimes it could even be fatigue. So we're going to talk about some oils for this, because I think this is so big right now and we really have to address it. And I am going to talk about an oil called Kid Power. I don't have a bottle to show you because I actually diffuse this in my classroom every day. Kid Power is amazing. It's filled with power, just like the name says. It smells kind of like an orange creamsicle. Do you remember those? It's a great everyday blend that was formulated to really help inspire feelings of confidence, courage, and positivity. All the things our littles need. It can help inspire and motivate and empower them. And so the reason it's like that is because of the oils that are in here. So this is a really amazing blend. There is orange essential oil in here. Orange is a very uplifting aroma. It just instantly makes you feel happy. Vanilla is in here, which has a really comforting, welcoming scent. There is black spruce in here. All of the tree oils, and black spruce is great because it's very grounding. It really helps to ground and balance you. There is blue tansy, which is a very floral aroma that is very uplifting. It's got frankincense. So frankincense is great for meditation. It's just very comforting. And geranium, which again helps promote like peaceful feelings. Like, don't you need some of that in your life too? I love this. I diffuse this in my classroom every day. I start my day with this, and then at lunchtime, I start diffusing my thieves again. But this is amazing. Now, if you're using this on your child at home, it can go in the diffuser. You can also make a roller, and you can apply it to the wrists, to the back of the neck, down the spine, on their feet, wherever. I like roller balls because it's easy for kids to do themselves. I have friends that have littles and their kids love to make their own rollers. They're like, I like the way this one smells and this one smells. I'm going to make my own roller and I'm going to put it on me every day because it makes me happy. So don't be afraid to let your children experiment, smell the oils, and you can help them create their own roller. And it's just like, it's an easy button for you then as well. And now I'm going to send it back to Stacy.
Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, and I can't help but echo what Sherry was saying about rollers. I think that one of my son's favorite things to do is to make rollers. And I'm not going to lie, some of his combinations are like not what I would pick, but it's really fun to like let him pick oils from the oil rack and make something together. And then he gets so excited because it's like his roller and he rolls it on himself. And as long as you're diluting, and you're not putting like clove in there that's really hot, you'll be fine. But the other blend that I wanted to talk about is Owie. So this one, These oils, the Kid Sense oils that we're talking about, they come pre-diluted, and they come in like a regular bottle, like this, like a regular bottle of oil, but they also come as rollers, right? So they come as pre-made rollers. So then, you know, you can just roll them on. Your kids can roll them on. Um, so the Owie is a really great blend. Now it is, you know, the name, right, says it all. So it's kind of designed for owies, scratches, scrapes, any skin irritations. But the oils in it also lend themselves to helping to ease emotional and mental hurt or stress, um, which, you know, it can be an area we overlook. So children have to work through the same feelings and emotions as adults do, but at times it can be harder for them to process. And oils have a powerful impact on the emotional center of the brain, the limbic part of the brain. And so oils can be a really great tool when helping your kids to deal with emotional trauma of their own. The oils that this blend contain are really powerful. And they include Idaho balsam fir, which is soothing and rejuvenating for the body, the mind, very grounding, calming oil. Also tea tree, which, you know, if you've done anything with essential oils, I'm sure you've heard about tea tree and you know that it's very cleansing, supports healthy skin. Um, and then helichrysum is also in this blend. And helichrysum, it's known for all of its restorative properties related to the skin, but it's also very, very calming too. And then you got elemi, which is in the same botanical family as frankincense and myrrh, also good for the skin. And then there's cistus. Has sweet scent and it's generally used for stress and trauma. Hinoki is also in this blend, which is energizing, uplifting. And then this blend does have clove in it a little bit. It supports overall wellness. But like Sherry mentioned, it's very diluted. So it's fine to use. What you would never want to do is use clove neat on your child. That's a very hot, spicy oil. So when it's diluted in a blend, that's a fine use for it. And it's very powerful oil. So it's really great. So that is the Owie blend for both, you know, skin, but then also emotional things too. Now, unwind. So I really am excited to talk to you about this because this was a bit of a game changer for our family. It's not an oil. It is one of my favorite supplements for helping with those anxious feelings. And like Sherry was saying, this is not one that is only used by my son in our household. It's actually used by all of us. Yeah, Sherry's got the unwind sticks. It's a little packet. And it's technically a magnesium supplement, but it also has some other really great things in it. And actually, before I dive into telling you everything that's in Unwind, I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of magnesium, because magnesium is responsible for over 300 metabolic reactions in the body. It plays a role in defending against sleeplessness. It can bring about a sense of calm. It's super, super important for us. If you are magnesium deficient, some of the symptoms you may experience, and some things we may see in kids and adults who are deficient in magnesium, is irritability, occasional anxiousness, stressed, moody, sleeping poorly, maybe frequently tired. This one always gets me. So if you have kids that complain of growing pains or their legs are achy, that can often be a symptom of a magnesium deficiency. Or if someone has restless legs, they just have a general restlessness, that can also be a symptom of a magnesium deficiency. Uh, Sometimes magnesium deficient kids may exhibit signs of hyperactivity or just unable to focus or relax. Um, they may be constipated. Magnesium is important for that. And sleep disturbance is a very common sign of a magnesium deficiency. So, magnesium is really key. It soothes our central nervous system. It helps us fall asleep, stay asleep for longer, waking more rested, more calm, able to cope with the day. Um, so that is why we love the Unwind sticks. It is a great source of magnesium. So it includes, let me tell you what Unwind includes. It includes L-theanine, which is derived from green tea, and it is really great for promoting a sense of relaxation, helping to ease occasional irritability, and it also offers next day benefits, helping improve focus and mental clarity, which is really great. It's something that my son can definitely benefit from. It also includes 5-HTP, and magnesium. And our magnesium is derived from a natural source. And we actually have 2 different kinds of magnesium in this supplement. So it's really great. It's tasty. It's like this little sweet watermelon pixie stick thing. You just take it back. And my son and I have been using it. I used it when I would feel like irritated and I just felt like, oh, something is off. And I would take an unwind stick and be like, oh, calm. And then my husband found them in the cupboard and now he's been taking them and he loves them at night right before bed. They just help him kind of drift off because he has some sleep challenges. So again, designed for kids, safe for kids, but can be used by kids of all ages. And that is Unwind. And I'm gonna send it back to Sherry. She's gonna share some other oils that are good for sleep.
Thank you. So what I love about all of the products and oils we're talking about is that even though it's created to do one thing, when you look at the ingredients or the different oils that are in these blends, you can realize it's really doing a lot more than what it just says it will. So the first oil I want to talk about is Sleepy Eyes. Now, this is it's a pre-diluted kids one. It comes in a roller or in a bottle. This is not the one, but it would be in a purple bottle. And it is great to put on. It's very calming and relaxing before bedtime or nap time if you've got littles. This is mine. It's nearing the empty bin. I like the easy button. So I put this on before I climb into bed every night. I personally like to roll it on the back of my neck and then kind of like right here. I'm a side sleeper. And then I also put it on my wrists. I love the smell of this. It contains lavender, geranium, Roman chamomile, which is very calming and soothing. Tangerine. Now, you would think tangerine, why do I want to wake up? That's like a happy oil, but it actually helps promote calmness and helps nervousness. Oh, anxiety. Remember that? Bergamot, which is also really great for anxiety. Also, like if you're anxious, this is always spinning, right? So if we can get all of that spinning to stop, we're going to fall asleep quicker. Sacred frankincense, which is my jam. I also kind of apply sacred frank all over myself at bedtime. Valerian, which is also great for promoting feelings of relaxation and can help with restlessness. And then rue or ruta, which is a sleep promoting essential oil that has historically been known to like kind of like chill out any nervousness. So we're talking sleep, but notice how a lot of these oils also help combat anxiety or nervousness. It's a win-win. I love it. This is one of the kids line products that I use regularly for myself. And then for the diffuser, now this can go in the diffuser, but because it's pre-diluted, I personally like to put this on my skin. I don't want to waste this lovely pre-diluted product in my diffuser. So in the diffuser, a really great blend is as simple as lavender and cedarwood. And I have to tell you, I have been an insomniac my entire life. And when I first met Stacy and learned about essential oils, I was like, girl, I just want to sleep. I was on a bunch of medications that made sleep even more difficult for me at the time. And she was like, okay, well, you're going to get these things and you're going to get cedarwood and you're going to put lavender and cedarwood in your diffuser. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, but I don't like lavender. I'm just not a florally kind of girl. And that first night I put lavender and cedarwood in my diffuser and I was like, I hear that thing running. Oh, I don't like that smell. What have I done? I just bought these oils and all this stuff and it's not going to help me. And what am I? And then it was the next morning. Now, I am someone that has always laid in bed for 1 to 2 hours since I was like 14 years old, unable to sleep. Lavender and cedarwood. If it could work for someone chronic insomniac like me, imagine how amazing this is going to help your kiddos. So I just want to say you want to do this. And the reason we add cedarwood in there is because cedarwood works with your pineal gland. So it's kind of like all the big trees, right? All the tree oils really help increase the oxygen flow to your brain. So when you are using those, you are breathing better, you are sleeping a deeper sleep, and you wake up more refreshed. So that's why we add the cedarwood into the lavender. And now I'm going to send it back to Stacy, because now she's going to get into another juicy area of your gut.
Thank you, Sherry. Yes, so let's talk digestion and gut health, because we all know that there is a really huge brain-gut connection, right? And getting our gut health dialed in can have a big impact on our emotional health. And while bodies do vary, generally experts agree that a minimum of 1 to 3 poops per day is what is healthy. And I know that a lot of people think like, oh, I go like once every couple days and that's good. That is not good. That is generally not good. Because less than that, you are holding on to waste and you're not properly removing toxins from your body. So making sure that things are moving through consistently and regularly is really important. There are a lot of things you can do to improve your digestion. One thing that I think is often overlooked is chiropractic care. I know that for my family, we all visit a chiropractor, sometimes more often than others, depending on what is going on with our bodies. But I think it is really a great way to care for yourself, and it does impact your digestion and can improve your digestion. Also, identifying your trigger foods. If you can figure out what foods are triggering or throwing your digestion off, you can do a good job of avoiding them. Common things, are dairy, gluten, nuts, too much fruit, too much sugar can also throw things out of whack. So just being cognizant of that. There are lots of ways you can kind of do little mini elimination diets to figure out what might be throwing your body off if you're dealing with something like going too much or constant constipation or diarrhea or things like that. Poop. So one of the ways that we've had the most success in our family for supporting our gut health is with probiotics. So probiotics are the good bacteria that we need to populate our gut for a healthy environment and healthy digestion. Now, for my son, what we use for him is the KidSense Mighty Pro. And it is a little similar to the Unwind. It's like a little pixie stick packet that you just tear off and take. It contains both pre and probiotics. Prebiotics help to create a good environment for those probiotics, all that healthy, good bacteria you want in your gut to populate. So they kind of work in tandem together. And it really helps to, create good digestion, which in turn helps support a healthy immune system and good emotional balance. Those good bacteria are so critical. So Mighty Pro has 8 billion active live cultures. You can, if your kid doesn't like the flavor for some reason, it's like a berry lemonade flavor, but some kids can be really sensitive to different flavors. You can sprinkle it over like yogurt, mix it into like vanilla yogurt. I used to actually put it into Ninja Red, which we're gonna talk about a little bit more in a minute, and mix it in. So you could like mix it into like a natural juice or something like that. But there's a lot of different ways you can take it. And it actually, I think it's like super tasty, but it's really, really great for the kids. It has kept my son like regular and normal for a long time. And I know that constipation with kiddos can be a really big issue. And if your kids are having that issue, definitely consider getting a high quality probiotic in them. And then the other one that I want to touch on in the same vein is the Mighty Zymes chewables. So digestive enzymes are another key component of a healthy digestive system. Enzymes help us extract all the good stuff out of our food and make sure that we're using it, right? Like you can eat the healthiest diet, but if it is just passing through and you are not absorbing all that goodness, it's not doing much for you. So enzymes help us properly digest our food and help, just keep our digestive system on point. The Mighty Zyme chewables contain enzymes that naturally occur in the body. They support the digestive needs of all growing bodies. And they're just really simple. They're like tiny little chewable tablet things. They're a little bit minty and they're super helpful. I personally love digestive enzymes. I take a whole bunch of them. And if we ever run out, I'm like in the Mighty Zymes taking the kids' enzymes because because I need digestive enzymes. So, but those are the Mightyzymes designed for kids, and they're just a really simple chewable that they can take. They don't have to swallow a pill or anything like that. But now I'm going to send it back to Sherry to talk about one of my favorite things ever, which I think people don't always think about for digestion, but it is really good for it.
Yes, thank you. So Stacy mentioned this. This is Ninja Red. So this is a supplement. This is the other thing Stacy said when I first started with Young Living. She was like, get that lavender and cedarwood in your diffuser, and you need to drink this every day. I can probably count on my hands how many days I've missed drinking this in the 6 years I've been using Young Living, because this is a total game changer. This is taken for multiple reasons, including gut health and digestion, but also it's really great for your immune system. So this is a super antioxidant drink that is made from the wolfberry, which is kind of like a cousin to the goji berry, if you've probably heard of that. It's known for boosting our immune systems and kind of keeping us above the wellness line. However, I find that by drinking it every day, everything else seems to be very regular with me, in addition to my digestive enzymes that I do, because I use the adult version of it, which is Life 9, which is our amazing probiotic. And I love that it comes in bottles, as you can see in the graphic, or in pouches. I'm a teacher, so I have a pouch every day in my lunchbox. And when I travel, so I love the flexibility. So my sister actually freezes them, and her son takes it to school with him every day, and he drinks it at his lunchtime. So it's thawed perfectly for lunchtime. And now to go back to an oil for your digestion. You know, we've all eaten and our tummy will bother us. And for littles, it's a little trickier about what oils to apply on a little belly. Well, Young Living has a great one called Tummy Jize. And you can see, you can pop a roller top right on this bottle. This is great because we do have one, our adult version called Digize. And I have to say, I like this one better. I'm not a fan of the smell of Digize, but Tummy Jize is nice. The reason that you really need to kind of be watching this is because a lot of the big emotions that we see in little bodies, a lot of times it's in their tummies, right? When they get worried, then they get nauseous or they have tummy aches. So this is a great blend that you can roll right on their bellies, and they're going to feel that relief right away. So this contains spearmint and peppermint, tangerine, fennel, ginger, cardamom, anise. So when we think of all of those oils, those are all the things that we use for digestive support. And it's got a nice smell. I think the spearmint and the tangerine help cut down the smell of maybe like the ginger or the anise that you may not like as much. To me, this is a very pleasant smell. So I have this in a roller in my purse that I always carry with me. And I love to use it that way. But one of the big reasons that healthy digestion and a healthy gut is so key to overall wellness is that, like Stacy said, the gut is known as your second brain. It's got its whole system, and it communicates with your big brain. So I didn't know that when I got ill. I have an autoimmune that was really debilitating to me when I found Young Living. I didn't know that half of it was gut issues. When I healed my gut, my overall health was better. Researchers are finding evidence that irritation in your gastrointestinal system can actually send signals to your central nervous system that trigger mood changes and those big emotions that we see in our kids. What? Our guts are so important. So you can help your littles right away overcome a lot of issues by keeping their gut healthy. And now I'm going to flip it back. I know we went a little over, but I think we've been pretty good. I'm going to flip it back to Stacy to wrap us up.
Thank you, Sherry. That was fantastic. And yes, we went a little bit over, so I'm going to wrap this up for you really quickly. But one thing that I really hope you take to heart is what we started talking about initially with this evening, which is that, consistency is key, right? So whether you're creating consistent routines or you're using some new products to help manage those big emotions, using them once is not going to do you any good. You need to pick a few things, what resonated with you, what you think is really going to work, or what you really want to try, and be consistent with them. You have a couple of options here. There is the little oiler set, which is like the easy button. It has all of the Kid Sense oils in it, along with a diffuser. So that's a really great way to get started using some of these products with your kids. There's also a rollerball set. You can also mix and match and pick together whatever you want. Yeah, those are the pre-made rollers that Sherry is showing there. Those are fantastic. We have that whole set. It stays in my son's room. He gets to use it as he wants. And it's fantastic. So any of those ways are great ways to get started. But what you really want to do is get back with the person who invited you to listen to this tonight. If you're listening to the recording, this part may not apply, but maybe it will. Right now, that person who invited you here, they may have a coupon for you. So you definitely want to connect with them sooner than later, and they may be able to help you put together an order that's going to get you the biggest discount, because there are a lot of options and ways that you can really stretch your wellness dollar right now. So that is my recommendation to you. You definitely want to make sure that you are getting high quality products. So connect with the person who invited you here, and they'll be able to help you with that. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure, and I hope you have found this helpful. Have a great night, everyone.